Hey guys, Jude here. Today is Saturday, and the camera's up there because I streamed yesterday, and it was fun. Yeah, streaming's still fun. I mainly just played DBD with Xavier, and then I went and played Half-Life 2 VR for like an hour and a half, and you couldn't hear me because the microphone was right here, and I was over there. Should have probably switched to the camera mic. Wasn't really thinking. Anyway, yeah, that's what I did yesterday. And what I did today was I worked for 8 hours. And then I came home at 9 o'clock. And I've been here. I talked to Lars on the phone because he wanted to ask about filming shows tomorrow, actually. And so we might actually record some of Trapped, which was a show I was making on my original, my main channel. Me and my friends used to make these shows. There's a lot of stuff on Xavier's, I guess, original channel. He switched from that being his main channel to the gaming channel being his main channel because we never really did the shows. But if you want to, there'll be a link in the description for his channel, and you can see like some shows we did. I'd recommend watching like maybe Life Note. I guess you can watch Speedsters. It won't make sense. None of it will make sense. Life Note will make the most sense, but also still not make sense at all. I'd say Speedsters would be quick to go through the original 16. In fact, no, yeah, I'd recommend just going through the original 16 and not like whatever the full episode thing is, because I have a few years ago when we finished like the first 16 parts, which is Speedsters 1 through 16. Well, actually Speedsters 0, then 1 through 16, because we made a prequel after. Like before when we made 3. Yeah, it was gonna be like, oh, just one thing or two things now, or maybe 3 things. And then we were thinking, okay, we'll just make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We made 0 when we made 3. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0. And then we were like, by the time 5 came around, we were like, oh, well, let's do this and this and this, and then it became 16 parts because we were like, it needs to end. And so we finished it. We did part 12 through 16 in one day, and that was so back then we would make stuff and we would make shows, and then like it would take so long to do it, and then there would be like one day, usually Xavier's birthday, where we're like we're finishing it, and then we did it and we finished it and it was done. And that was Speedsters. That was Xavier's birthday in 2019. We finished Speedsters, because Xavier came up with like stuff to do afterwards as like a real finale. And that never happened. But that was 2019 when we finished that, and we came up with the new stuff in 2019 for Speedsters, and then we never did that. Because basically in 2020 we were like, okay, let's wait. Well, in 2019 we were like, let's wait for summer next year in 2020. And then COVID happened. So it was like harder to get people together, but also we were still like hanging out, like the main, like me, Xavier, Lars, and Aiden. Like, we were all hanging out and stuff, so we probably could have filmed some of it then. We just never did, because it was like, oh, we need all these other people. And then that's been the main problem, is that we need a bunch of other people to do that, and we've never been able to do it since then. And we're certainly not going to be able to do it now, because people are going off to, like, college and are graduating high school, and it's like, well, that sucks. But there have been other shows that we've done, like, over there, Extraterrestrial. There was a trailer for that released in 2020. That he never released that, because I remember in 2019 we filmed that. Basically, that was another thing that was filmed like in a whole weekend, like basically a 2-week period, but like the amount of days it took to film the whole thing was like 3 or something, which was pretty crazy. And that sort of is like the last classic show, where like the old style where we like come up with an idea and we just start filming it, and as we're filming it, ideas come out. Nowadays we like draft the whole thing, and it's like, oh, this is what happens then, and then we go out and like, okay, we need to do this and this and this, which is way more boring and like tedious than just going out and being like, let's film this, okay, and then like we're having fun. Whereas with the whole like everything's written out is like so boring, because it's like, okay, do this now, do that now, and it's like there's no fun to be had with it. And that's one of the things that sort of made us sort of stop filming, is also it's like, okay, this is boring, can we do something else? And it's like, well, no, we have to do this for another, realistically 30 minutes and it would be like done filming, but the whole time we're procrastinating because it's like we're telling jokes and stuff, and then it's like, okay, do this, which would be the same with if it was just like us ad-libbing the whole thing like we used to. But with that, it's like more fun to record, so we'd actually get stuff done as opposed to procrastinating because it's boring. Well, for some people it gets boring. For me, it's like still fun because it's like I'm getting it done and it's gonna be done. But that's another reason why we haven't recorded a lot of stuff. But anyway, yeah, I'd recommend you watch Life Note. Maybe Freddy Gyres was like a horror thing on his channel that was like a thing. Although I'd probably recommend just watching like season 3 of that, season 3, season 4. You can watch the whole thing, but basically season 3, season 4, season 5, and the finale. Yeah, 3, 4, 5, and the finale. I'd recommend watching. You don't have to watch season 1 or 2. I mean, you can, but it would be. I don't actually remember if that was like easy to understand or not. But anyway, and they was talking about, yeah, if you watch Speedsters, I'd recommend watching the original parts, because even though I made like when we finished that a whole compilation of called Episode 1, because it was gonna be Episode 1 and then the next thing, which is Speedsters Infinity Run, and then Speedsters End Run. So Episode 1, 2, and 3. It ended up just being, we never recorded the other two, so it was Episode 1. And I made a whole like chunk where I put all the 16 parts together into one thing. And then when we filmed the negative Speedsters, which was like going back in time, but it was actually continuation, which is a whole nother thing that we did, which was negative 16 to negative 13 to then 17 reversed and 18 reversed because of this whole thing. It was like showing like a prequel to Speedsters, but it was actually like a new timeline created when someone went back in time. So it was kind of like a whole bait and switch. And I put those into a new Episode 1. And then I think I remade it again a third time, but I'm not sure. Anyway, I'd recommend just watching all the Speedster parts, 0 through 16, and then negative 16 to 18 reverse, which are in a playlist called Speedster Segments. You would get the gist of it, I think, if you feel like watching that, which is like an hour. But you can watch Life Note also, which I think that's like 2.5 hours. And then Freddy Gyres, I think, is even longer than that. In fact, if you don't feel like watching any of it, just watch Freddy Gyres' finale. Anyway, who cares? Who cares about any of that? That's stupid. That was a 7-minute tangent on, like, things I would recommend. I'll probably cut all that out. If you want to watch my shows, I'd recommend starting with just Trapped. Basically, the first, like, 4 episodes are kind of, it was something I'm, like, back in 2018 I made it. A lot of, like, the first 5 episodes. The first 4.5. And then in 2020, 2019, I recorded some episode 5, and then 2020 was the rest of episode 5, actually. And 2021 was also some of episode 5. And then 2021 was episode 6. 2022, I recorded basically all of episode 7. We just have to finish the first part. Episode 7 would have come out, like, May or June in 2022 had we finished the first like scene in the last scene of the thing. So stupid. And this year I haven't really worked on any of episode 8. But yeah, that's another show that's not finished. And then there's also Fastman, which that would be quick to watch, which is like a sequel thing in Real Week. Yeah, the shows are weird. It's just a thing that we just never finished, and that sucks. But we want to finish it. I think I'm just gonna edit the vlog now. I'm actually going to do it. I'm gonna edit the vlog. That's a good idea. In fact, I will see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, which I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I did mention that's today. I mentioned that I'm going to tomorrow. Probably Laura's called, and we're probably gonna film. So yeah, that's what got the whole topic of the discussion of the shows that I just had with myself into this camera for 11 minutes. I'll see you guys tomorrow.